Back to another video. We're budgeting tonight. I knew I needed to budget, and so I went ahead and filled out my sheet, but I wanted to do an update just so you all can stay up on your budgets. Find a budget accountability partner for those of you who are new to budgeting. If you do not have a budget buddy, find a budget buddy. Even if that person doesn't want to share their budget with you, ask them if you might share your budget with them, especially if you want to pick somebody that is good with their budget, not somebody who does not budget. Okay. So I figured we'd jump in and just kind of update the budget. We had a couple of expenses and things that I didn't plan for. Let me be truthful. I planned for one of the things. I did not plan for something that happened yesterday. So it was a little bit of it took me by surprise, but we managed for it. It was perfectly fine. If you're joining me, chime in, let me know where you're chiming in from, and then where you are in your budget. Have you budgeted everything? Have you paid all the bills? Are you weekly paid? So you are paying some stuff this week, waiting for your paycheck to come so you can pay something next week. Like, let me know where you are as far as budgeting is concerned. It is very important, of the utmost import, that when you have funds cycling in and out of your checking account, whatever accounts you have, that you pay your bills, that you account for those dollars. Money is one of those things. Hey, ma'am from Tennessee. Money is one of those things where it can come in and go out so easily, and you don't even remember you spent it. You don't even know what you spent it on. You don't keep receipts. You don't reconcile your accounts. And you're like, where did my money go? And so a good habit to practice is to go ahead and update that budget every time you make a transaction. Now, do I do that? I don't. But I have been budgeting now. Jackson's 14. He'll be 15. So 14 years. But I do misstep if I don't go in and do my budget, because I'll have so much coming in and so much needing to go out that I will get discombobulated. And so for me, it is most beneficial that I go in and update that budget regularly. Now, a couple of things happened that we did not account for that I have to account for. So one thing, yesterday, I had been noticing the small dog, Gwen, had been just scratching. I mean, she's scratching. I told the kids, I said, she's scratching like she got the mange. I mean, I keep her nails cut so she doesn't hurt herself. But she scratched so much that she scratched a hole into her collar. So I'm like, something is not right. Maybe she's just an itchy dog. I don't know. Maybe she just itch. Well, yesterday I noticed that she was scratching again, and she was shaking her head. She's not in any pain. She's eating. She's drinking. She's not laying around. I mean, she's being her regular Gweenie self. But I grabbed her because I thought, okay, maybe she got an earwig. Maybe she was out there in the yard and something got in her ear. I don't know what it is. So I grabbed her up, because she is not one to let you hold her. But I grabbed her up and I went in her ear, and it was bleeding. And I was like, oh man, I don't even know what this is, but I already know what it is. Okay. So when you have animals, hobbies, different things, you have to make sure that you have funds for those types of things, because if not, you're going to be in a problem. Hey, friend. And so I got to work yesterday. I waited till the vet was open. I called the vet, and they could see her yesterday at 4. So I didn't have to leave work, which, again, if you have to leave work, of course, some people are missing out on time. I'm fortunate enough that I can flex out my time if I need to, but I had classes all day, so I had to be at school. So I got off from work, brought her home. Came home, picked her up, took her over. They give her all the exams. She's a porker. She's 10 pounds, 2 ounces. They start looking in her ears. They're like, well, she's got some junky stuff in there. So we're going to go and put it under the, microscope, see what's going on. She has a bacterial infection in her ear, both ears. The right ear is worse than the left ear. So they went in, they did a clean out with all the solution, and then they put some medicine in there. So that medicine should last us 3 weeks. She said I shouldn't have to do anything else, but if it's not cleared up, she thinks it's a food allergy. So, hey, Kim. All right. And you're watching from Bahamas? Okay. Very good. So she said if it doesn't clear up, then I'll need to switch her food probably to a sensitive skin diet food. And so the vet visit, the cleaning of the ears, the medication in the ears, plus I had to get heartworm and tick meds for both dogs. I left the vet yesterday paying $255 and some change. Okay. I budget $100 each month for the dogs. Because outside of Mama getting attacked, she has never been sick. I mean, she might have been sick one time. I think she had diarrhea one time in the 7 years we've had that dog. And so I have not had to really do a lot as far as upkeep, maintenance, that type of thing with her and financially, except that one time she got bit, and then we did have to take her that one time she had diarrhea real bad. But, one of the things about having a sinking fund is you just put money in there and then you let it build until you need to use it. Well, the last time I took Mama to the emergency vet when she got bit, that pretty much wiped out all the excess money that I had in her account before we got Gwen. And I've not been able to make it up. So you got to figure out a way when you have those types of things, where am I going to make this up from? The other thing that kind of threw me, y'all, I got my renewal for my insurance today. So my insurance and my homeowner's insurance, they bumped that up price-wise. So I got my insurance today, and it was $1,191. And we pay ours by the 6 months. Well, how does it become that much, Shakema? You add on one driver that's not experienced, and now you're having to pay those higher premiums. And we have full coverage on our cars. I know someone would say, well, your car's a 2013, her car's a 2012. You can drop collision and lower your payment. We could lower it about $300. But if something were to happen, I'd like to be as covered as possible for her as well. So that's why we keep both of those on. And then when I bought my car, I had to buy it using a loan from the credit union. So, of course, when you get a loan from the credit union, you have to have full coverage. When you get a loan, you have to have full coverage. I paid that car off in 63 days. I could have dropped collision then, but I like to make sure that we're extra safe. So now I have to go back in and make sure that I budgeted enough in my sinking fund to cover my insurance. Now, sister pays her own, so I don't have to take her part, but I do have to make sure that we have that money available. So I'm going to just flip my camera around and show you a couple of things that we've paid and where we are at the current moment. Alrighty, y'all. So here is my MYMT personal budget sheet. And this is for the month of March. Now, remember, this is 3 columns. So I don't put anything in the budgeted column for income. I just leave that blank. I put actual money over into my actual column. So my monthly payroll deposit was $3,324.22. My the child support that came in, we got 2 payments in 1 week. So we got 2 payments like a day apart. We got a payment on the 4th for $296.34, and I got a payment on the 5th for $216.46. So it was like $512 came in 2 days. So see how it works. Sometimes you get it once a week. Sometimes you don't get it this week. Sometimes you get it 3 in a week. It just depends. While it does help me to get something every week, that way I know I have money, moving forward. The state of North Carolina says as long as you get your allotted amount by the end of the month, they don't tell them how to put it in your account. Now, depending on how many Wednesdays or how many Fridays, whatever, are in the week, I could get more, I could get less. I think the last payment I got was like $63 because I think that was the residual from the entire month. But that came in 2 days. So I got $512 in 2 days. For some reason, I got a payout from one of my affiliates, which is passive income. I don't even think about it. It's just sitting there. And they paid out $56.50. I have another affiliate that paid out, and I didn't count that in here. It's in my other budget sheet. But I use some of that for sinking funds. And I have one affiliate that I'm supposed to be on auto payout, and it does not ever auto pay out. So when I sent them an email last week, it was at one specific amount. And then when I look today, that amount has risen, but they still have not sent it out. And I don't want to keep bothering them, but because I emailed them last week about the payment not coming through. It'll come through at some point. But again, when you are financially secure, you're not in debt, right? If there's money somewhere being held, it's not like you need it, because if I have been under the pressure before where I've really needed that money and it hasn't come in, I would be emailing them every day. Now I'm like, well, it'll come in eventually. So that's one of the things about being financially secure or not in debt, where you're not worried about what didn't come in and you're still able to cover everything. Could be that I'll get it next month and it'll help cover some more sinking funds, right? So that's how I look at it. Travel reimbursements, I didn't have any, and then I didn't have any gifts or blessings or funds transferred that I'm, for this particular month. So that gave me $3,893.52 as far as income thus far, what we count as income categories. So if I scroll on down, here are the things that I have paid already. I have paid my mortgage at $1,000. But remember, last year I was paying $892, which meant I could put $107.30 into my principal. Well, my mortgage went up because we had a bond and our property taxes went up. And so now my mortgage is like $953. And so I was able to put $47 to principal because I'm still going to pay the $1,000, whatever the difference is from the regular mortgage payment, because we fell short in our escrow. So now I'm just going to pay the extra $47 to the principal because I'm trying to chunk it as much as I possibly can. $47 times 10 months is $470 plus. So I'm probably about $570 for the total year if I only pay $47. But that's still like a little bit over half of a mortgage payment, which should continue to decrease our interest over time. Okay. Cell phone, we paid Mom's and Jackson's. So we sent the money for 2 phones for Mom's phone and Jackson's phone. We have a family share plan. So for some of you, if you're looking to cut costs on your cell phone bill, if you have family members that you are comfortable with and you're able to share the family share plan through Verizon, there are 5 of us on the plan. I think my son-in-law has a different plan. I don't recall him being on the plan, but it's me and all 4 of my children. Now, Shamika had this plan, and she was like, Mom, you want to get over here with this, plan? And I had Sprint for a long time, and I was paying $150 for my phone only. And so when I went to Shamika's plan, that bumped me down to $48, I believe, $46. I think Jackson's phone is 48. So it just benefited us. And then sister got on, so hers is like 40 something. My older son, his is a little bit higher, but he has like Apple Music and all these other, teenage millennial type things that they have on their cell phone. But I'll take it for what I use my phone for. And Jackson, $90, perfect. Household repairs now. With the $56 that I got, I was able to then put monies towards a certain sinking fund. I think after tithe and offering, it was like $47. I think I paid $20 to the new laptop and $27 to vacation. Normally my vacation is $50, but I didn't have 50. I had 27. So I put that in there. Now, some people say, well, I don't have the full amount. I'm just going to spend the 27. I could have done that, but I chose to take the 27 and put it towards the vacation because I still have to pay for a rental car when we go to California. I want to be able to take my kids out for one meal at least. We're going to have to eat while we're there. And then a full day of travel home. I want to make sure that I have enough money to travel and take care of the expenses of my children, because that would be my gift to them. Lawn care, Mr. Jerome is not cutting the grass, but he built me one more garden bed because my garden bed is rotted out. He replaced 2. So he built me another one and he's going to deliver it. So that's going to cost me what I would normally pay him. It's $110, but I took out $120. I don't have change for a 20, so I'll just throw it in. It's no problem. My recycling renewal, pest control, and yearly pest spray is $56. That's all 3 of those together because I didn't have enough lines on the sheet. I just combined them all. I have not done the Roth yet this month. Amazon Prime is $13. PureFlix is $11. Now going back to Amazon Prime. So a friend of mine does gift us Amazon Prime once a year. With that being said, more times than not, they take it out of my account and then she reimburses me. That's her gift to us because I help her do a lot of her ordering and stuff like that. She does not have to gift me Amazon Prime. I was already an Amazon person before she mentioned it, and I am capable of paying Amazon Prime. I take out the little few coins every month so that when that bill comes due and they debit my account, it's in there. But it is her gift to us. She wants to do it, so I don't argue with her. What I do with those funds then, after I've saved them, because I save them up front because you'll never know what will happen, then I take those and I allocate them to a different sinking fund. So we renew in January. So now we're on month 2 of saving up for next year's Amazon Prime. Healthways, my gym came out at $29. And then Jackson has one of his payments at $21 comes out on the 5th of the month. Moving down, whenever I get the very first child support payment, I take $50 off the top, put that in Jackson's high school fund for shoes, clothes. I mean, I think he has 4 pairs of pants and maybe 2 pairs of sweatpants. He grew. He's had a growth spurt since last year, and he's steadily growing. So we just went through his closet and stuff and did a total clean out of things, and he needs new pants. So I'm glad I have that fund because now, even with $50, I can go buy him at least 2 pairs of pants, decent pairs of pants, and he'll have those for a little while. Each month I do that, and then if he needs something, I try to get it. Now, his dad sends child support, but if the kids, this has been his pattern for the last several years. If they need something additional, he'll get it for them. But I don't call him and say, hey, they need this, and this, because I get the child support. They talk to their dad every single day on the phone, and he's listening for whatever they have needs and this type of thing. So I guess that's how he's doing it. But I don't call him up and ask for extra over and above my child support, because I'm going to steward that money to take care of the things that we need, their needs first, over anything I need. I pay the bills out of my paycheck. So I just make sure that I allocate those funds, but I always take out something for his clothing. I put $20 again in my camera laptop fund. My Netflix, I had forgotten about this. $16.54, that came out already. Groceries, I took out $400 in cash, and I made 2 small food line transactions for $30. One was $13, one was $17. I went over my budget on groceries. Your grocery budget. Grocery video is late. Sorry. It'll be probably Saturday again. My summer groceries, I took out $100 cash for that. Monthly preps, this month I only had $23 because I went over the last week of February because I was trying to get those meat deals, and I just pulled it out of my prep money. I did eat out one day, and that was $6.38. Moving down, I took money out for Jackson's haircut. He will get a haircut this week, and he will also be getting fitted for his tuxedo for Shamika's wedding. So that's different. We've not done that before. $17 was for the P.O. box, so I have funded that already. And I had to fund that out of my paycheck because I didn't get one of my social media platforms used to take care of my sinking funds. I went from making at the very top of the ladder like 3,000 plus to last month I made $72. And I think the month before that, I made $96. So I went from 3,000 plus down to less than 100 because of these new algorithms and things. And so I've had to fund the sinking funds this month out of my paycheck. And last month I was able to fund it out of some ambassador money, some affiliate link money. So that's how I'm having to do it until things change, which this next month I've doubled the $72. So that's helpful, right? I had a reel go viral. And so it had a lot of views. That helped us to, just that one reel helped to push us double what we got last month. So I wish it had been on Instagram because that reel has over 4,800,000 views on Instagram, and I make no money on Instagram. And it's only at 172,000 on Facebook, but that made us $60. So I'll take it. So imagine if it was 4.8 million on Facebook, I would be making back to that 3,000, whatever, but it is not. So it is all good. I'll take it wherever it is. Where it says clothing and shoes, usually I don't have any financials there, but Jackson has to get fitted for his tuxedo. And my son-in-law said, you pay at the fitting. So we're going to have to pay for his tuxedo. And that's why that money is there. Moving down, entertainment, recreation, entertainment, travel, vacation, $27. Jackson has 50 in his savings account thus far. He's had half his money come in, so half his money went in. So I know I don't put a lot in his savings account, but I put something, right? I put money in there just so he will leave with something. Sister had a little bit. She didn't have as much as I would have wanted to give her because I needed all the money back then to help with the bills and taekwondo and traveling and doing all that for them with their taekwondo stuff. Now that I am able for Jackson, I try to make sure I put at least $100 in his account every month, a little more if I can, but he now has a cash account with a card since he's high school and they have soccer games away and they might stop for food and stuff. So I'm putting money in 3 different accounts: his high school clothing fund, his savings account, plus his cash account. So, it takes a little bit here and there. What else do I have? Scrolling down. Okay, this is where it hit me for Gracie and Queenie. Queenie was the issue this time. The vet visit was $98. Then I think there was the solution was like $65. And then to get Mama's heartworm stuff, it was 44. And then for Gwen, it was 39. So add all that up, $255. I had 100 set aside because I had to buy food last month. I did not necessarily plan the extra 150, but I was able to make it work. Gas, I narrowed down my gas this month to $100. 100 of that, 200 was supposed to be for blow money. I wanted to give myself a little bit of goodwill money. And I knew of a need. Someone needed something. And so we gave to that need. And that was just the end of that. Or actually, maybe that was let me see, 100 for gas. Yeah, I didn't do any miscellaneous spending. I actually just gifted that away. Oil change, I did manage to do my sinking fund for that. For my tires and repairs, I put $16 in. And then for my insurance and car registration, that money has gone in, but it's not going to show up here. I've already funneled that money away because I didn't put that payment on this sheet. For tithe and offering, for tithe this month so far, I've paid $609. And then for offering, it's $305. For gifts, blow money, thrifting, it was $100, which we gave away. And then for savings so far, I put $1,000 in is what I wanted to save. I've saved $150. And then actually, I saved more than $150. I actually saved $250, $260, something like that, because I put money in my 100 envelope challenge notebook. So total expenses thus far, $3,714.92, leaving us $178.60. Now, I like to leave a little bit of money in my account just to make sure I didn't miss anything, forget anything, something slipped up on me that I wasn't aware of or didn't write down, because that happens to me at times. So with it's actually $168 when I went to the bank earlier on my app. I didn't go to the bank. I went on my app. And with that money, there's enough to recoup from the dog vet visit if I need to. Or, there's enough money there to be able to put it to the other sinking funds that I haven't sank yet, if I have any. Please do give the video a thumbs up. That's just very helpful. Share if you think that's helpful. It just helps us get out into the algorithm. That's helpful for us. But if I look at my budgeted column, it said I needed about $7,800. Right now, I got about $3,800. So I'm still $1,000 in the hole. But most of that comes from my savings. So if I take the savings out, I'm at $3,780, and then I've already made $3,893. So I would have overed if I take out my savings, but I like to keep it in just to be able to see kind of where I am and how much I was able to save. It is my express goal this year to definitely make sure that I am saving. I want to save $15,000 this year. Now, last year, I didn't think I could save the $1,300 that I saved. I did save that, and that was to pay for our trips to California for sister and myself. Now, I'm challenging myself to save $15,000, and that will be my 3 to 6 months. It'll be closer to 5 months worth of expenses were I to, lose a job, have an illness or something like that, if I didn't have income coming in. So Ebony, if you're still here, a couple times a month, I do an updated budget video, and I just kind of share where we are for the month, how we're doing, where were our struggle areas, that type of thing, just to kind of be budget buddies with some people who don't have a budget buddy. I am a budget committee of one. There's just one person that looks at my finances. That's me. If I had a spouse, then I would be a budget committee of two, because we would then look at the budget together. But because I do not, it's just me. So of course, some of my friends from YouTube and Facebook jump in and they keep me accountable to make sure that I'm sticking to my goals for the month, that I'm doing all the things that I said, that I'm not falling short in any area. And so I like to encourage everybody to make sure that you're sitting down with your budgets and you start plugging those numbers in. Again, step one, do the budget. That's the first step. Whether you stick to it or not in the beginning is not what I'm concerned about. I am concerned about whether you do it. Because when you you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But if I know where my money should be going, then every time I get money, I should be checking something off the list. Okay, I paid this, I paid that, I paid this. And the other thing is, don't wait until your bill is due. My light bill is not due until the 12th, I believe, of March. I get paid the last working day of the month. So I got paid on February 27th, going into the 28th. So we get paid like at 12 midnight. So going into the 28th, of course, they didn't count leap year, leap day, whatever. But I paid my light bill that day, because this is just me, probably not y'all, because you're better than I am. If I leave money in my account, just sitting there looking at me, I'm going to find something I want to buy. And before you know it, if I do that too many times, something has gone unpaid, and now I'm right back in the hole from where I was. So if I pay it now, the money is gone. It's done. I don't have it in my account. All the money is gone. I paid the mortgage. I paid the light bill. We paid the water bill. The water bill, right? Because it's gardening season. So we're getting ready to have a little bit bigger of a water bill. We do have a little rain barrel out there. We try to catch rain in. But there's a lot that goes into keeping that budget, and you want to make sure that you're diligent with it so that you know where you have some missteps. Again, I didn't plan $155 extra yesterday for the dogs. However, she needed care, and I couldn't leave her the way she was, or she would have ended up worse and it would have cost me more. But because I didn't have anything outstanding, no debts outstanding, I don't owe anything. I booked something on my credit card the other day. First time I've had a credit card in over 10 years, maybe 12, 13 years now. I booked my plane for the girlfriend's getaway weekend. And as soon as it posted, it took 3 days to post. I went right in and made a payment, because I already had some money in my vacation fund. I had some money in the ministry fund, and I just moved that over because the girlfriend's getaway is a ministry event. The only reason I got the credit card now is because, for one, I don't have debt, and for travel purposes. With the ministry, I'm having to travel a little more than I was before. And when you use your debit card, they put all kinds of holes on it. We're going to put 75 more extra dollars and 25 more dollars and $250 for the card. But when you pay with a credit card, they don't do all of that. So I've got the credit card for travel expenses, but I make sure that I have that amount of money in my account so that as soon as it clears through, I can then pay it right then. I just click a little button, make a payment. Payment is gone. I'm right back to where I started, and life is good. Now, yesterday, I did have almost a weak moment where I was like, well, I could put this on my credit card, paying for the dog, and I'll just pay it. But then my mind was like, well, where you going to pay it from? Where the money coming from? See, I'm going through all these questions in my mind, because the moment I become irresponsible with my credit card, I'm right back to where I started, right back to where I've been working hard to get away from, which is debt. And I don't want that. I have, child. Okay. I have whatever my sister has. See, I don't know a lot, but it lets me build up points when I go and stay at places like the Hilton. Because if I'm going to be traveling, I try to stay within the Hilton chain. I use my credit card. I build my points. I travel on the plane, I build my points. And then when I go to those places, enough points, I can cash out points for trips and stuff like that. So that's what I have, whatever my sister has. And that was my understanding. Basic understanding is pay for your whatever, pay that credit card off immediately. So that's what I have it for. I don't have it for random spending. I don't have it for anything like that. Now, for where my sinking funds are, I have a separate bank for sinking funds. So I think I have about 15 or 17 sinking funds. So I do a Capital One 360 account. That's all online banking. I have one checking account that has a card attached to it. It's a debit card, and I have to put my PIN in every time. It doesn't even work like a credit card. Have to put your PIN in. And then if I have to pay a bill, like sister has to pay me her part of the insurance because it will not let me split the payment. So I told her, I said, well, go ahead and dump the money into mom's account so that I can take it then and transfer it to my Capital One account so that when I am ready to make the payment for the insurance, I just use that Capital One account debit card because it's over there and I have a card for it and it just works out perfectly. Like last time I paid it, it went right on, no problem. So that's how I do that. But Capital One 360, I think you can have up to 27 nested savings accounts under one checking account, and it doesn't cost you any extra money. You can just open one checking account because you have to have a main checking account. And then you can have up to 27 nested savings accounts that don't cost you money. And you can go in and name them. So all of my accounts have names, except the last one I just made for the floors because I still do have to get the floors done. So anywho, that's kind of where we are for the month of March. There are still some more child support that will come in probably within the next couple of weeks. I'm hopeful that that other affiliate will pay out because that will help me to have sinking fund money for next month, right? Because whatever I'm going to get this month from YouTube. And again, y'all, thank you so much for watching the videos, for sharing, for liking, for subscribing. Because as much as you like the videos, it just helps us to push out into the algorithm. We do very well with our shorts on YouTube, but it doesn't pay a ton. Like you can make a short and for every 1,000 views you get 10 cents. So I do have a reel, one of the first ones in a long time, that's at like 58,000 views. And that was the one with the vertical tower, the vertical planter. So that was at 58,000 views. I was like, oh my goodness. And I did find one thing. So for any of you who have YouTube channels and that type of thing, there's a particular button that you can press called copyright. And you can see if anybody has placed a copyright infringement on you, or you can look to see if somebody has stolen your material. So yesterday, I just so happened to be looking and I saw that 2 people had taken my video and posted it as their original content. So I did a claim, asked for an immediate removal, and they immediately removed my video. Now, I don't mind if you share my video, but to download it and make it like yours, then that's wrong, right? So I requested that they remove those 2 people. And clearly, if you look at their little image and my face, is not that we are not the same. So I was like, wow. And it didn't even say like it wasn't a stitch, it wasn't a duet, it wasn't anything. It was just my video on their platform saying this was theirs. So I just requested it removed and it was removed. I mean, it was quick too. I've only had that happen one other time when somebody stole my stuffed peppers. And I was like, nope, because you could only see my hands. You really couldn't see my face, but I have all of my timestamps. It's one of the reasons why I started posting on Instagram is because they put the Instagram name all over the video now, and you know it's my content. So I'm either going to post it from Instagram or TikTok because it puts my little timestamp thing on there, and I want to make sure that my content is secure. So absolutely. Rachel says she used her PayPal card for gas, but the same holds true for Capital One. It will never let you spend more than what you have. It will not. And I like going into there because I'm able to see what I have available. And then if I put a transfer in, what is going to be in there in a few days. It takes about 2, 3, 4 days before it's in there, but it does get in there pretty quickly. And I've had that account now maybe 2 years. I think it was my friend Paula who mentioned it to me, and I was so afraid to do it because I couldn't go to the bank. Like I couldn't go to the Capital One bank, but it's very simple. I go in, I do my transactions. I have on my app or on my computer, and then when I need to make a transaction, I just move the money into my checking account, do my debit card, and I'm done. I'm good. So if you have not, just a couple of homework things. If you haven't done your March budget, that's homework assignment number 1. If you have not met with your budget buddy, which is if you're married, that's your person. And if you're in a situationship and that person has access to your funds, right? Okay, so I'm not calling any names because I don't even remember the girl name at all. But I was watching this thing on TikTok where this lady was married. She was married to another lady. I don't know all their business, and none of that is my business. But the woman thought she thought the other person was paying the rent and paying all the bills. And all of a sudden she started getting phone calls about your rent check bounced, or your lights haven't been paid, or this person was requesting money from her family members to CashApp her or PayPal her or whatever the case was. And it was really bad. And so she ended, it went viral on TikTok or whatever. Sometimes that stuff will draw you in, but I was listening to the financial part. But here's the thing, and I don't know their names. It ain't, again, none of my business. But when you have other people that are attached to your finances, you must, it is imperative that you sit down and you know all the things that they know. I don't care who pays the bills. I have just as much access to this account as you. I got all the passwords. I know all the things. I know where the money is. I know when it's due. I can check to see if it has been paid, because you never want to run up on a problem like that where you're thinking one thing is happening and something else is happening. Ask me how I know. But when I got a hold of my finances, and I don't plan to have separate accounts when I get married. We are one. Everything is all the same. But I still want to know, if I pay the bills, he can have access to all the things. If he pays the bills, I want to see. Not that I don't trust you. I just need to be aware. Because here's the other thing. If something were to happen to one or the other of you that deals with the finances, and the other person knows nothing about it, now they're in a problem. I remember when I first got separated and divorced. I was separated at the time, wasn't even divorced. I did not know how to pay my car insurance. I didn't know what to do. My ex-husband had always taken care of it. And so for about a year, he still took care of it. But after that year, he was like, nope, I got to do something different. And that was it. I was on my own. And fortunately for me, my sister, who was my budget buddy, said, okay, this is what you need to do. And she helped me. Now, I'm glad for the help, but I can't rely on her every time to help me manage my finances. She's my budget buddy. I can show her, say, hey, look, this will we working with this month, or this is what our affiliates brought in this month. I have had enough to cover some bills, some business expenses with my YouTube, but just enough. Again, my views are still way, way down. And so you make money based on views. So it's always an encouragement when you see lots of views. That helps us out. But when your views are low, some videos are getting 150,000 views and I get 50 views. I'm like, all of a sudden we dropped out of the algorithm. Like, what happened? We were doing good. And I am thankful for every dime, penny, nickel, quarter that come past these here. So you find a person that can help you, and then they can see what you can't see. Wait a minute, because now I'm gonna tell you something right now. Rachel, keep me straight. Because I'll be done inverted some numbers and I'll be done left something out. And Rachel be like, wait a minute, you forgot this. I'm thankful because I don't always see it and I miss some stuff. But she's been following. Most of y'all have been following to see where we are and encouraging the kids and I. And you are here for our journey. And so if she catches something, that helps me. I know the other night we were budgeting and I'm like, where's Rachel? She helps me. I done got all combobulated. And Rachel will be right there with my numbers. And I appreciate that. So don't think that you know everything, because sometimes a fresh set of eyes can see what you didn't see. Hey, you forgot about X, Y, and Z. So those are some things that I want you to think about, but I want you to work on them. There's only a certain amount of time that you can think about your budget. You've got to do it. And you have to work the process 90 straight days. Give yourself 3 budgets to do the right thing. And I promise you, you're going to see yourself on an upward swing. At least you're not going to be going in the hole, dipping into stuff you don't need to dip into. So that's just my encouragement. All right, y'all, I'm back at 9. We're on day 84, I believe. Yep. A few simple prayers. It shouldn't be long tonight, but I'm back on at 9. So I'm going to grab a quick nap because I don't want to be tired later, and some coffee maybe, and get ready for that. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. Thank you for joining me for the budget. I like to keep people informed because I know a lot of people are here for the budget. So yes, ma'am, Miss Ollie, I'll see you at 9. For those of you who are unaware, I am going over my book, The 90-Day No Talk Experiment. We're doing all 90 days. So there are 90 straight days of teaching from this book. Please join us if you have nowhere else to be or catch the replay. We love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye now. Bye, y'all. Happy budgeting. Happy